What up, gang? Wearing the iconic robe today. I'm gonna be talking about the biggest time waster between your teens and 20s. I'll give you a second to guess it. Chasing the opposite sex. Getting guys and girls is ultimately really pointless. You might be thinking, Nick, who hurt you? They all did. But that's not the point. The point is I'm down bad. I'm kidding, again. Well, I'm not kidding. Let's get serious for a sec. I genuinely am actually very passionate about this. Between the ages of, let's say, 14 and 25, there are gonna be so many guys or girls in or out of your life. Now, some people are very dedicated and they're like lover boys or lover girls, and they're gonna be hooking up with these people. They're gonna be catering to these people's every needs, and that's fine. Some people could live their life like that. But if you put it into perspective, a lot of these people wind up wasting so much time and effort with people they ultimately don't wind up with. Furthermore, sometimes it can actually take your focus so far off of what you're doing that you can find yourself wanting to do that person or hang out with that person a lot more than actually working on your own goals. This becomes easy when you love someone, when you're in love with someone. Here's the reality though. More than likely, a lot of those relationships and or most of the relationships will definitely end. You're only gonna end up with one person, guys, unless you're forming a harem, but that's a whole nother story. It's not bad to actually be emotionally invested and love your partner with your whole heart and think about them, blah, blah, blah. However, when it starts to affect you and your mental state, that's when it becomes a problem. So here is my advice on how to make it so that you don't get in the long run. Focus on yourself. Make sure you're prioritizing yourself. Ultimately, the more you're yourself, the better partner you're actually gonna find. You wanna attract someone that's good for you. Not that you just like. Obviously, you need to like them. But you need to attract someone that likes you for you. The more you work on yourself, the better you're gonna be. Can we agree on that? So if you're always trying to be the best version of yourself and or just become the most you version of yourself, we call that self-actualization. Then you're gonna find a partner that actually fits you for you. Now this is key. There are some partners that are only with you for your looks. You might be with someone for their looks. No bueno. Don't get me wrong. There's some hot people out there. I know. In the long run, when you're in a relationship, you kind of know whether you're gonna really end up with that person or not. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you swear you're gonna end up with a person and you don't. And let me tell you, sometimes you put hours and hours into these people and then you look back and you're like, what the man? But it's not a big deal. You know, don't get down on yourself if this is kind of what you're going through. This is kind of one of those, I'll call it a trap of life. I feel like traps of life are so valid and relevant in society. For instance, a lot of people will hook up with this person and then be with this person, and then they get so comfortable with one another that they start to develop problems, but they still stick with each other even though they have problems. And then before you know it, you're 10 years in the future and you're with someone you don't even want to be with. Why? Because in the long run, love doesn't necessarily always feel like you're in love. That's why you need to find someone that's actually cohesive with who you are. You need to find someone for you. This is actually my perspective on the matter. I believe between your teens and 20s, that's a time to work on yourself. It's not the best time for a relationship. I can't even really talk. I just got out of a 2-year relationship. Did I waste a whole lot of time? No, I had a great time. But there were a lot of moments where I felt myself pushing back goals that I had because I wanted to cater to this one individual. And that's where the problem lies. It becomes so easy to invest in other people, especially when we love them. And that's how you wind up putting yourself second. Guess what, buddy? You're number one. Don't ever forget it. You are number one. Even when you're in a relationship, you have to love yourself first and put yourself first before your partner. Otherwise, you're fucked. That's how you wind up unhappy. So if you are in a relationship, take a step back and ask yourself, am I prioritizing myself? And the answer is no. Maybe try to fix that. At the end of the day, you are the only person responsible for your happiness. With that being said, there's also a study showing that your spouse is responsible for 90% of said happiness. And on top of that, I'm also 22. So maybe these results kind of differ on the age group that you're in. But this is just my opinion. If you're in your 30s, probably don't listen to this.